What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is a scorcher here in Utah today. It's over 100 degrees. I've been moving fill dirt and doing some landscaping in the backyard, which I'm actually making a video out of that because it has to do with some future plans I have for this area next to the garage so we can expand a little bit. So I'm doing a video showing some landscaping. I love landscaping and I figured maybe some of y'all would like to watch that. So anyways, it's hot today. It is nice though. We just had some clouds blow through, but they did just that. They blew through and now there's no cloud cover. So anyways, we're gonna make this a fairly short video. We have two things we need to do today. One to the OG crew cab and one to Prospector Bob. The OG crew cab, I did a video, I'll link it above right now, on how to adjust the idle on the VE pump. Works really well with this little pick from Harbor Freight, but I've noticed my truck's not holding idle. And I was nervous because I've heard when that happens, it can be the VE pump actually going out and you need to replace it. So I was quite worried, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna check the idle screw. And I remembered in that video, someone commented and said, well, what about getting the lock nut off? And I said, well, I haven't had the lock nut on there for years. I've never had issues with it not being on there. Well, now I'm having issues without the lock nut. So I need to adjust the idle and get the lock nut back on there so we can have the idle be high enough to where it should be. So let's do that first. Then we're gonna do something on the P-pump real quick, and then we'll call it a day. All right, so if you've watched my other video, you know the idle screw's down in there between the top of the pump and the head. So it's kind of a tough spot to get to, but in order to get this lock nut on here, we're gonna take this reference line off, and we're gonna take this lower fuel feed line off as well, and kind of swing it out of the way, because that's gonna be the only way we can access the back of the screw to get the lock nut back on there. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we've got this boost reference line off, the fuel feed line, which we're not going to move much more than that. But we can, I don't know if you guys can even see, I've just got the GoPro sitting in there, but the idle screw is, let me get something to point to it, right down. Let's see, the idle screw's right there. We'll see if you guys can see that. So I have to somehow sneak the lock nut on there and try and tighten it up a little bit and get it onto the threads. All right, guys, well, that was kind of a bust. The nut that I thought that I had in my toolbox for years for the idle screw is not going on. So either it's the wrong thread pitch or the threads might be gummed up just a little bit. So I adjusted the idle screw back into where it needs to be, and then I adjusted the throttle rod to hold it in that spot for now. I'm going to do a little research on figuring out what size nut that is, what thread pitches is. If you know what that is, throw that in the comments below, save me a little time. But I'm not afraid of a little research. We'll figure that out. So anyways, didn't go according to plan. So real quick, I've got to run to Rocky Mountain ATV, grab a couple tubes for the XR100 rear wheel that I'm trying to figure out. They close real soon, so I got to go grab that. I might try and mount that wheel real quick. And then we're going to address the next thing on Prospector Bob. So we'll catch up with you then. Oh, are you guys still there? Oh boy, it's been a rough day, guys. So I have attempted twice to mount that rear wheel up, brand new tubes, and I've pinched 2 tubes so far. It's the first time I've ever attempted that. I'm just trying to learn, but this project's not working out as I'm used to. So I'm gonna actually hand off the rear wheel mounting to a professional. Unfortunate to have to do that, but oh well, it's okay. Things aren't going well in this video, as you guys can tell. So let's head out to the OG crew cab, and I'm gonna show you guys something. I think we can tackle this one, even though we've failed at everything else in this video. So let's go tackle this one real quick. All right, guys, so in the midst of a couple failures, let's do something that I'm almost positive will be a win. Let's tackle an easy project, and that's a life lesson for you guys. If you're feeling down, can't win on anything, find something you can win on and go win so you can get your mind back in the game. So here we are at Prospector Bob at the P-pump. So you guys know we've been tuning this truck for a while, trying to get it running better, and we suspected a fuel pressure issue there for a while. In my research on fuel pressure issues, I came across the overflow valve for the P-pump. So this right here is made by Tork Technologies. It's an adjustable overflow valve. We found out that my issue is probably more the fuel filter than anything, but I had ordered this anyways. It was 50 bucks, kind of expensive for a little bolt, but it'll be worth it. This is going to be kind of a preventative maintenance issue. But if you're running into fuel pressure issues or hard starting issues with a P-pump, this is something you need to check. It's basically a spring and ball valve in here that regulates the overflow of fuel to regulate the fuel pressure on the pumps. When these go bad, the stock ones, it can cause decreased fuel pressure, or it can cause the fuel to drain out of the lines after you shut it off and go back to the tank, and then you have to reprime the system when you go to start it the next time. So hard starting issues. So I'm going to link a video above by Cutter Up Rob. There is a way you can modify the stock overflow valve on these, and it works pretty well according to his video. I just ordered the Tork Technology one because I didn't want to mess with the stock one, and there's a couple versions of the stock one, and I don't have the stock one that can be modified. So go check out his video. He's got a few videos on tearing into the internals of this valve. Very informational. So what we're going to do, this valve is located right here. So we have the head and we have the P-pump. Here's the valve. It's a 3/4 inch head on there. So we just have to undo that. You can see the head's actually notched out for it. So we'll undo that, pull it out. There's going to be a washer on both sides. The Tork Technologies kit came with 2 brand new washers, which is kind of nice. So let's undo that, put the new one in, and then we'll be good to go. All right, so our 3/4 inch wrench. Gonna loosen that up. It's actually easier than this, but with where the camera's at, I can't get the wrench in there very well, but you know what I do for you guys. I make it harder for myself so you guys can benefit. See if that's, yeah, we can get that with our finger now. So, all right, just came loose. Now, one thing, you can't just back it out into this notched spot. Basically, you have to kind of lift it up and then pull the whole line straight up toward the hood, okay? And then there's the old bolt right there. Okay, so one of my original washers is still on there. I'm actually just gonna leave it. It wasn't leaking before. I'm just gonna leave that one on there. I'm gonna grab one of the new washers for this spot, and all we're gonna do, sneak that bolt in there. Once we've got it on there, then we can push the line back down in. Sorry, my hands are in the way, but you guys get the idea. All right, so we've got it started. I might move the camera for this, or this is gonna take forever. All right, guys, there it is in there. So you can adjust that. There's a lock nut and then the tip that you can adjust. It comes from the factory set at 30 PSI, so I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm fine with that. But if you're into really tweaking your fuel pressure for performance, this is very nice because you can adjust it. So, well, we did it. We won. Rough video today, lots of hard work today, and just wasn't feeling it. Wasn't feeling like I was gonna win, but we found something we can win at. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for your support. We'll see you guys in the next one.